Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Wanted to show you our star closeout drill. And if you stick around, we'll show you two more defensive drills that you can add to your practices or your training regimen. I think the closeout is super important, especially in basketball. You're put into a lot of situations where you're closing out on a shooter, so it's really important to teach the emphasis of the proper technique as you're doing these things. So in this drill, players will be closing out at 5 different spots. On that last spot, we have a coach there that's going to give a good hard rip, either left or right. And again, the player has to close off with one hard step on that last closeout. So here you see, again, a hard closeout. They got to get back to the middle, and as they get back, that next guy will go. I think there's 2 mistakes that players can make as they close out. I think the first mistake is not closing out hard enough or being too low in their closeout, where a good shooter is just going to make that shot. It's not going to affect them. But on the flip side of that, a player can close out too hard or too high, where a good offensive player is just going to rip and go by you. So again, if you're out of control in your closeout, it's not going to be a good thing. And oftentimes you can even foul the shooter. You see that a lot with young players. They close out a little too hard. They don't let the shooter land. And we'll show you here the adjustment we make in the drill. We add that to this next step where we simulate a shot being taken, and the player has to let the coach land or let the player land and block out and go get the ball. So here we flip it to the other side. Now as they close out at this last spot, the coach is going to act like he's shooting a shot. Now it's important that the player lets him land, still makes contact on the block out, and then goes and simulates that they're getting a rebound. Again, this is a super important thing because you never want to foul a shooter. That to us and our defensive scheme is kind of seen as like a cardinal sin. Fouling the shooter, it's just giving the team free points. It's something you can control. So again, something to work on and practice is your closeout technique and doing it the right way and not fouling the shooter. You still want to affect the shot. Obviously, you want to challenge the shot, but you have to let them land. You have to block out, and then again, get back to the paint and get the rebound. Now on this side, you see it can get a little crowded, so you probably want to get a little bit more of better spacing or a little bit better timing when you are doing this side in the closeout, because it takes a little bit longer to do the block out and getting back to the paint. So again, you might time this up a little bit better than we did, but that's okay. We're still getting the technique of it and really working on closing out, simulating a shot, still making contact on the block out, and then getting back to the rebound. Now, I know a lot of colleges and NBA teams are actually doing flybys now on their closeouts, and I think a large part of that is because of the shot clock. So if you can force that player to take a few extra seconds, you're actually saving your defense. Now, at the high school level or youth level, there is no shot clock, so the flyby to me is actually probably something we won't teach right now, but if maybe there's a shot clock eventually, it's something we might go to. Now, this next part is going to be our lane closeouts. So again, this is another good closeout drill you can use at the start of practice to work on defensive slides, getting into a closeout, really getting to that first hard jab step where you have to cut off the driver, and then you're getting back. We have our players yell basket, basket, basket on that, as they're backing up or backpedaling, and then they defensive slide across the baseline to the other side. And the thing I like about these drills is, again, it gets your players moving, it gets them active, it forces them to communicate and talk. So early in practice, we like to do these drills because, again, it's really something that's going to get their bodies going, it's going to get them moving. But you're also working on technique and you're working on individual things that they can do to get better as a defender. So again, we like these drills. It's something that brings a lot of energy to practice and really good to start practice with these drills. Now, if there's aspects of this drill that you don't like, I again highly encourage you to make adjustments according to how you play defense or how you run your program. I think it's important to make sure your drills really reflect how you play defense or how you teach defense. So again, it could be adjusted by level or the type of kid that you have, the type of talent you have, or You may have a group that's really athletic, you may have a group that's not very athletic, and you may have to make that adjustment accordingly. Now this next drill is called man in the middle. This is a great drill for defense, closing out, mirroring the ball, but it's also a really good offensive drill as well. We really teach our players to step through, step around the defense. So I think you need 3 guys in a group, 1 basketball. We have our players really work on their step throughs, passing around the defense. The only rule is they can't throw it over the top. I think that's kind of cheating the drill. So again, they can't just throw a lob pass over the top of the defender. That's too easy. It has to be a step around, or bounce pass, or even just a short chest pass. But again, it's a good defensive drill. They'll close out. They really need to mirror the ball, try to get a deflection, and then if the pass gets through, the passer now becomes the defender. They'll follow their pass and now become the defender. You can add some type of, I guess, punishment or, consequence if the ball does get deflected. So again, we do push-ups. If your pass gets deflected, then you have 5 push-ups. So over the course of the drill, if you keep getting your passes deflected, you might be doing a lot of push-ups. But it's a really good defensive drill to work on, again, mirroring the ball and trying to get deflections. But it's also working on your offense, because a lot of times you're facing pressure. You have to be able to step through, be strong with the ball, and still deliver a good pass. So I hope these 3 drills can help you or your team. Again, I really like that they're efficient and short, and they can be done early in practice. But make no mistake, they can be difficult. They do require a lot of effort, but it's good that it gets the players' bodies moving. It gets them really focused and locked in on the defensive end. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks again.